What's up, you guys? I'm Natasha. This is the kitchen at Shepherding Pepper's Farm, and today, surprisingly enough, we are making what I am calling zucchini pie, and it is the most delicious thing in the entire world. So sometimes when you are gardening, you end up with a lot of zucchini, or you know a gardener, and a gardener gives you lots of zucchini. And sometimes you run out of things to do with that zucchini. Well, this year I learned that zucchini makes a wonderful apple substitute. So I'm going to show you the process of making zucchini pie, which tastes identical to apple pie. I am so excited about this recipe, and it also makes a fantastic apple pie dip with crackers. I'm telling you, if you serve this somewhere, apple pie dip, you'll be the life of the party. I mean, it is so good. This got devoured within 5 seconds. But before we get into all of that, my day when I'm cooking or doing anything typically starts off with dealing with all of the vegetables that I have from our most recent harvest. And oftentimes for me, that includes filling up this little spinny container, this little circle container with all the different vegetables that we are growing for our family. Like right now we have green beans in all different colors and shapes, so we're enjoying that. And then we're having cucumbers as well, and everybody is really enjoying having fresh cucumbers to snack on. So it's a part of my day, and I figured I would film it for you just because it's kind of a standard thing that happens anytime I get into the kitchen. This is one of the first things that I do. I'm not promoting this. This is just genuinely something that I like to have on hand. Here you can see the finished product. I've got fresh carrots, cucumbers, we have peppers coming in, green beans. It's just really exciting that it's all from the garden. And then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add ranch to this because ranch is great on everything. And our snack container gets enjoyed pretty much daily. All right, so to make zucchini pie, or pretend apple pie, you're going to start by peeling your zucchini, and then you're going to slice it, and you want to get the seeds out of it. Surprisingly enough, if you miss your zucchini and it gets really large, this type of zucchini is great for this recipe because you can cut the seeds out really easy, the centers that all the seeds are in, and then the outer portions are crunchy. They're thick. They've got some meat on them like apples. So if you find yourself with some oversized zucchinis, turning it into zucchini pie or mock apple pie is a wonderful use for that. And they stand up decently well in the canner. I'm not going to say you're going to end up with canned zucchini that's crunchy. It's going to be mushy. So if you're going to can this, which we are going to do in this video, I do recommend turning it into, again, a pie, or making apple pie dip, which is so good, and nobody knows that it is zucchini. Later on in the video, I went around and I started giving people samples of the pie, and no one had any idea that it wasn't apples. So it's really good. So we're going to start this off with 8 cups of zucchini. Again, you want this peeled, you want it seeded, and then I just cut it into bite-sized pieces. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to put this in a large pot because we are going to cook this down a little bit. Once you get this into your pot, you're going to want to add into this about 2/3 of a cup of lemon juice, and you're going to kind of let that all heat up together on your stove top. At this point, the zucchini is going to start sweating all of its juices out, and you're going to add your sugar in. You're going to use 1.5 cups of white granulated sugar. Just sprinkle it all over the top, and then you're going to add into this about a teaspoon of ground up cinnamon and about 1/2 teaspoon of ground up nutmeg. And you're just going to let this all cook together for a minute or two on the stove. I say a minute or two, but really you're going to cook it for like 10 to 15 minutes. Let all those flavors start working together. And then if you have any sort of pie crust, whether you made it yourself, we've done tons of videos on that because it's very simple, or whether it's store-bought pie crust, it doesn't really make a difference. You're going to grab that and you're going to put it on your counter, and you're going to get ready to just shock everybody with this amazing zucchini pie. While that was heating up on the stove and working together, I started cutting up a smaller zucchini into very thin slices because we are making cucumber sandwiches in the next video that I was shooting after this, because we're having a tea party for the kids because they're, you know, done with school and we're just enjoying fun little things like this. We have a ton of cucumbers coming in. Well, my husband, he can't have cucumbers. He's allergic. And we're always kind of working out different cucumber substitutes. There are some great melons that you can use, but we didn't have any on hand at the moment, so I had used little zucchinis, and they worked really, really well as a little cucumber substitute. Now I didn't want to dirty up another measuring cup, so I used about 1/4 cup of cornstarch, and then I added into that 1/4 cup of cold water, mixed it together with a fork. It's kind of tough to mix together, but once you get it all incorporated, then you can go ahead and you can pour that into your pot, and this will heat up in the liquid, and once it all cools together, then it will solidify it and really thicken up your pies, which is great. You just missed it, but Seth tried it, and he was shocked that it was zucchini.
Yes, I was. Very shocked. It was like, yeah, who knew? Who knew?
Ooh.
Who knew you could make zucchini that way?
Right?
I didn't.
So we're gonna make apple pie filling and pretend apple pie, and we're gonna can some of it so we have apple pie filling for later. Zucchini pie filling. I bet that would be a good tagline, zucchini pie.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
Frozen pie crust that we made not too long ago. And we're gonna go ahead and pour it. So sometimes when I'm filming, I'm not really sure where I'm going with things, or oftentimes I don't really have things pre-planned out. So occasionally I won't be talking to the camera while I'm filming, and I'll just plan to do a voiceover because my home is kind of loud and noisy. So at this point in the video, you get to enjoy a good bit of that. Voila. I'm gonna keep this in the house to make other treats with it. So I'm basically gonna use this jar for just a second, and we're gonna go about filling this a different way, but I wanted to test it out first. I'm probably gonna make this into apple pie jam in 1 second, so. But I wanna use this to make the mixture, and then I want to fill the jars with the zucchini. So I'll show you. We'll do 2/3 cup of lemon juice. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make this filling that we can, which is gonna be slightly less cook time than what we just did on the stove, because it's gonna cook in the pressure canner. So we don't wanna overcook it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna be real quick about this. We're only gonna get it to the point where the liquids have started to come out, it's started to make a sauce, so on and so forth. So we've got 2/3 of a cup of lemon juice, and we need 8 to 10 cups of zucchini. I've just been over here chopping and peeling. And you do want it peeled and seeded, so you cut the center out so you don't have a bunch of seeds in there. That way you're using the firmest part. Put this off to the side. We'll see how much I can get through. Maybe I'll just do it all this way. I'm gonna turn this on a lower heat. I'm gonna add in 1/2 teaspoon of our nutmeg, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 2.5 cups of sugar, powdered brown sugar, white sugar, whatever makes your heart happy. Eighth of a cup of cornstarch, 1/8 of a cup of water, and then mix this together. Right over the top. Mix this whole thing up. I'm gonna let this heat up and come together. While that's going, I'm just going to continue to chop forever. And sometimes the harder the zucchini, the bigger, the better. So to make this into a jam, we just need a food processor or an immersion blender. Go ahead and take our filling right here. And again, the only reason I'm turning this into a jam is because these are going to be very soft, so I don't want to cook it twice because I cooked this extra long for the pie. So add this into here. And try and get all the little bits out. You can see all the stuff I'm preserving and working on. It's a bit of a crazy mess. Mostly just from a land of plenty, not out of that. When you got a lot coming in, you got a lot to harvest and process. Put this on here. Having a lid on is very important. And this will re-thicken up as it cools. It smells so good. This like use the life of just about any party. You could serve it with crackers or cream cheese if you're feeling fancy, and oh my gosh, it's so good. A really good spread on some toast, and it literally tastes like apple pie on your morning toast. So good. Okay, so I want you to see this. Now that the sauce is thickened, see how this is thickened right here? I want to immediately remove this from heat. Immediately. And then we're going to get this into our canning jars in 1 second so we can get it into the canner and not have to worry about it becoming like a thing. You just don't want to make it too soft so that way when you make it into a pie and it recooks, it's not too smushy. Just smushy. So one of the ways I like to bring the heat up in the jars is to take a cold oven, turn it on to 350, and then while it's heating up, put the jars in there on a cookie sheet and it'll help bring them up to temperature. I only put them in for like 10, maybe 15 minutes, then I turn the oven off so that way it's not super hot. And that's even on the preheat stage. Like if it's been preheating for longer than 15 minutes, it's still done. All right, jars are nice and hot. I need a bigger spoon than this. We're just going to go ahead and fill it up to this very bottom line. We'll see about how much we can get through today. Three. Alright, so this recipe will make 2 quart-sized containers. It does require a lot of zucchini, but if you have a lot of zucchini coming in, let's see if we can do another one. Okay, I can still touch these, but they are pretty hot. So I did end up pressure canning these at 10 pounds of pressure for 20 minutes. Now we're gonna try and be really quick and do this again. So I definitely overfilled this pie, but let me tell you what, it turned out to be so outstandingly delicious that we had this once this week, and then the following week we made it again because it was so good. So I hope you guys try this. I hope if you find yourself with an abundance of zucchini, you give this a go because it's amazing. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.